Tonight, after the strike on the Zuevka and Starobesheve thermal power plants, 500,000 residents were left without electricity. The occupation authorities in the occupied Donetsk region have declared a state of emergency due to the strikes on the Zuevskaya and Starobeshevskaya thermal power plants. Ukrainian FPV-2 drones simply knocked out 2 key stations. And this is just the beginning. Today there was a series of powerful strikes. Guys, we're being bombed. We're being bombed, damn it.
Shit! Do you see it in the clouds?
The General Staff officially stated that military targets in Russia were hit with ATACMS missiles. The explosion of the main gas pipeline near Omsk is burning phenomenally. An attack on the Saky thermal power plant in Crimea, a fire at the Veshkaima substation in the Ulyanovsk region, the thermal power plant in Oryol was blown up, and also the sabotage of a railway in Poland, for which Russia is being blamed.
An encounter with a sudden explosion, which happened not far from the area known as MIK, and which was most likely intended to target the train exhibition on the Warsaw-Demblin railway route.
Last night, a whole wave of strikes and sabotage swept across Russian-occupied territories. Donetsk region, occupied territory, is in darkness.
(2340). At this time, the entire city is completely without power, with no electricity anywhere in the area.
Omsk is engulfed in a fiery gas blaze. Crimea was hit with a new attack on the thermal power plant, and in Poland, the Russians blew up a railway. And of course, the trail leads back to Russia. Friends, it's November 19th. Let's break everything down step by step. Friends, please like this video and let us know in the comments where you're watching us from, and a few words of support for the armed forces of Ukraine. Let's get started. 500,000 residents and the so-called DNR are without electricity, a strike on the BAM thermal power plant. At night, Ukrainian FPI Firepoint drones attacked the Zuevskaya and Starobeshevskaya thermal power plants. Transformers, power lines, and boilers were damaged. The transformers of the second boiler were hit and are completely out of commission. The terrorist Pushilin admitted that dozens of settlements in Donetsk are in darkness. This is one of the largest blackouts in the occupied territories in a year. Let us emphasize right away, the Russians use these facilities for military logistics and turn local residents into hostages. And now, the most interesting news. A massive explosion on a gas pipeline near Omsk, a nuclear mushroom cloud over the city. At night, a main gas pipeline exploded in Rostovka near Omsk. A pillar of fire rose dozens of meters into the air. Locals report the smell of gas. There is panic all around. This, of course, is the work of those who care. A total act of sabotage. A fire. Dozens of crews worked to extinguish it. Not drones, but the scene is infernal. It's just perfect for anxiety-inducing news blogs. A railway was blown up in Poland. The trail leads to Russia. Reuters reports, citing intelligence agencies, that the railway sabotage in Poland is the work of Russians. The defense minister said directly that the trail leads east. This is part of Russia's hybrid war against Poland, NATO, and Europe. This is not just sabotage, it's an escalation. The SAG's power plant in Crimea has been damaged. Asint Analytics has obtained fresh satellite images. You can see serious destruction of the main building of the SAG's power plant. Strikes were carried out. On November 16th, part of the equipment was put out of commission. This is a blow to the entire power system of Western Crimea. There have been a number of blackouts there. And the substation in Oriol is on fire as well. The Veshkaima substation in Ulyanovsk region is on fire after an attack by Ukrainian drones. 900 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, the 500 kilowatt Veshkaima substation is burning. The substation is very old, dating back to 1956, but it is important. It connects the power systems of the Urals and the center. Strikes on thermal power plants in the regions that form a ring around Moscow are our second stage of working with Russia's power system. At this point, we are trying to ensure that Moscow experiences a total blackout. That's why, by tightening the ring around Russia, we are regularly attacking all the thermal power plants near Moscow. Strikes on military targets in the Belgorod region, large-scale explosions, and air defense systems were active there. Panic in local chats, sounds of explosions, air defense working against Ukrainian armed drones, the destruction of a significant military facility, and, of course, enemy personnel. And in the center of Moscow, a large-scale emergency situation. The Cathedral of Christ the Savior is on fire. A thick column of smoke covers the area. A luxury residential complex nearby has also caught fire. On Somenovsky Drive, workers were trapped by the flames at a height. Firefighters simply couldn't get up in time. Meanwhile, a series of new emergencies is unfolding across Russia. In the Kursk region, the Tsinkum plant, which supplies materials for the Russian military sector, is on fire. At the same time, occupied Donetsk is plunging into total darkness. The Chykina substation, 330 kilowatts, has been blown up. There is no electricity throughout the entire occupied part of Donetsk region. In Makiivka, Sinovata Chast, Horlivka, and Nakivo, fires can be seen over the cities. Russia is burning, the occupied territories are plunging into darkness, infrastructure is collapsing, Europe is recording acts of sabotage, and the Kremlin is in a panic, trying to put out fires on all fronts at once. We continue to monitor the strikes, the technologies, and the consequences for the war. As soon as we have new information, we will definitely go live, but for now, take a look at a top-notch breakdown of Russian propaganda.
No stories today.
Will be told at a later time.
So what will happen? Will we win, Gennady Andreevich?
Don't take this seriously. We took Berlin 3 times, and if needed, we'll take it a 4th. That's
all right.
I'm a peaceful person. I'm for peace.
I am currently in a state of mild, simmering rage. Just yesterday, for some reason that I still cannot quite understand, there was an official presentation of a humanoid robot right here in our country. At the same time, we've already had such robots before. We've shown them. There was Fedor, the robot. He did something, a manipulator. Listen, who are they torturing? Just explain. What are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? Why? The company was just recently created, so they went ahead and showed it off. Here we are, there we are, how great, the funding has already been allocated. I can't use foul language, but a lot was clear to everyone. And so, to the music from Rocky, they bring out the Russian human idol onto the stage. 2 guys are walking with him, and then basically he just falls flat on his face. They pick him up again to the music, and now 3 people lead him away. And the main thing is, hurry up, let's get the footage. This was being filmed, a movie about how to steal government or private money? What was all this about anyway? According to Idol's CEO, Vladimir Vitukin, the localization level has already reached 77% with a target of 93%. The company LLC Idol was registered just a few months ago, but has already received support from a new technological coalition, which includes leading Russian IT and robotics companies. A source in the market told RIA Novosti that Idol's value could range from 100 to 300 million rubles. I understand that Vladimir Vitukin will try to reach out to me to explain why so early. Vladimir, why did you come out on stage? Why did you show this embarrassment? It's at the level of a children's toy, and yet somehow someone found out the price too. What is your goal? To compromise the entire Russian IT and robotics industry. Meanwhile, the Kung Fu robot from Elon Musk, the renowned entrepreneur and visionary who meets our idol, a person we deeply admire, who just completely collapses, almost overwhelmed at the mere sight of the impressive and advanced American robot. And if all our scientific and technological developments are at the same level as in the West, then I have only one question. When will there be arrests and executions in our country?
You look at the people of Donbas and realize that these people don't need much. They're ready to make do with very little. They say, just give us water for at least 30 minutes a day. They're willing to endure all these hardships for one thing, for a great victory.
You think 30 minutes a day? No, they don't even ask for that. They get water twice a week, and that's not even the main thing. Our guys are bringing victory closer, and victory will be ours.
It's no wonder that people then run to Upper Lars, kids included. They have a feminine behavioral model. They grew up with their mother. That's normal. I don't even judge them. They saw a feminine model of behavior. So in a critical situation, they don't go to defend the country. They don't go to defend their family. They, how to say, hide. I'm done. We have to change this. Russia is in trouble. We're dying out. And
There aren't any more people, Vladimir Vladimirovich. That's why they're trying to bring British troops to the border with Belarus and French troops to the south. And then we'll hit them, and the coffins will start flying. If there's anything left to bury after tactical nuclear weapons. By the way, speaking of Vladimir Vladimirovich's prophetic qualities.
And do you understand today what will happen in 2030?
I think more or less it will be the same. I just understand what I would like to achieve as a result of this whole confrontation. That is, it's clear that we can't achieve a military victory right now for a variety of reasons, but I would like our turn toward the global south not to look like an imitation. I would like us to actually establish the kinds of military strategic cooperation agreements that we have concluded with North Korea, with other countries as well. With the Latin American regimes of the Red Belt, first and foremost Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. All these countries are waiting for our help and are counting on it. And these are really the strongest trump cards in the game with Trump. Because how are we playing with Trump right now? We do something small and then we look at Trump. Trump, do you see, we're kind of... we have new agreements with Africa. We have something with India, right? And we glance over at him, right? But when we stop glancing at him and just turn our backs and start actually doing this, bring in 25,000 Cubans for the war, set up 4 military bases in Venezuela, then they'll come knocking on our door and say, guys, let's make a deal. Well, it's clear that you're up to something. This sense of samurai-like cold-bloodedness, which, by the way, North Korea has, is exactly what Russia needs, at least to some extent. But
We are nearing this.
the universe is pushing us in that direction. We're trying our hardest to renegotiate, but no one is willing to renegotiate with us. No one has met us halfway on anything, not even a single step. I mean, for the past 2 or 3 years, we've been telling everyone, let's do it this way. Here, we'll give this back to you. We won't go there, we won't denazify here, we won't overthrow Zelensky, and also, we won't use very large bombs. But no one is willing to meet us halfway on this. So again, Trump said, no Donbas, no Zaporizhia, no Kherson, nothing like that, just make peace somehow. So that Trump could get the Nobel Prize, and then, well, we'll see how things go from there. We'll see how it goes. That's it. Our well-intentioned proposals unfortunately just hit a significant wall, encountering some unexpected resistance.
What is said about women, what are their roles? That is, these natural abilities, these innate qualities and characteristics are instilled in her by God Himself. To be a wife, to be a mother, to be a nurturer, a supporter, and a guide in her family and community, a domestic fairy, the mistress of the house. And in wise books there is a term, a figurative one, that is often used to describe what it means to be a goddess. But in this context, we're not giving it any religious meaning or significance at all. Rather, it's simply the understanding that a woman, through her actions and presence, can bring happiness to another person. It is important to note that a woman should not be required to work.
The fate of Ukraine in this world doesn't concern anyone except Russia and the Ukrainian people. Only our Ukrainian people are already here. And those who are still there, I don't care about them at all. Not a single one. There isn't a single one there. For me, there isn't a single one left there. Maybe 100 people on the ground. They applauded the move to the Kursk province. They were happy. They continued to support the Nazis with their taxes. They will all answer for this. Except for those who realize it in time. Repent, leave Ukraine, or make an effort to prove that they are against this Nazi regime. This is what they've done to the country. And now, Ukrainians who are dying at the front, who are simply being ground into dust, they are fighting for this, so that their sisters, wives, and daughters work as prostitutes in German brothels while they are sent to slaughter. Erased from the face of the earth like Dnipropetrovsk and other cities. At the same time, we warn them at first. If they don't understand, we act. Well, there's no other way, unfortunately. It's not good or bad, it's just data.
Well, how else can you fight a war? Only this way. Only this way.
Look, we can see what's happening right now. There are active strikes on our oil refineries. Is Ukraine doing this? Of course not. Is it through Ukraine? It's the British and the same Americans who are providing intelligence and relaying it. I have only one question. Are we ever going to start paying attention to this? How many times have I raised the issue of air defense on this show? No, I get it. Maybe it's a brilliant idea to turn off mobile internet, and that will immediately stop everything from flying. I understand that it's a brilliant idea to impose a no-fly zone after which suddenly people can't fly during vacation season and are stuck in airports. That really helps a lot. I just don't understand what it helps with. Because all of this supposedly helps, but the debris from the downed drones, as they say now, causes such damage that you wonder, is anyone actually responsible for this? Are they being collected in our country? No, I think the Democrats would definitely be better for us, because Trump is the kind of person who can make a very radical decision, and he will, definitely, and we'll see the hazel tree bloom, and finally Poseidon Sarmat. What beauty. Why will you finally see how beautifully the storm petrel flies over the gray flat sea? What? You're just like, you followed Obama's path. That's a vicious path.
Then why do you like to step not only on your own rake, but also on the rake that others step on? And you don't learn from them.
Well, the scariest thing is that we men, we kind of go crazy, but women, they help with their own. Because with them, a man and a woman, it's like she's blown back and forth like a leaf. Because she is meant to be part of a man, you see? She was taken from him and should be joined to him. She can't exist on her own, you see? That's the thing. That's why men are kind of foolish and scary. These foolish men are raised by single mothers, who themselves also developed that way at some point. You see how frightening it is. That's how it is. That's why Christianity is becoming, kind of sick, even scary now. And you wonder, what should we do? So for now, no one should be allowed to take communion during the war. It seems to me that if it's psychologically impossible for a woman, well, a psychologist after all, a doctor, a psychologist explains that this is a living life and today others are in need of this living life. I want to tell you that in our country, for a number of reasons, there are now a lot of childless couples who cannot have a child. And the waiting list for adopting small, healthy children is very long. And I think that here, perhaps we should take a different approach. Yes, agree with the woman. That she cannot or in the future does not want this child, but this child can live in another family.
Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, share your location, and leave a few words of support for Ukraine. It's very important to like the video, friends. Please, every like you give helps this video reach as many people as possible around the world. A like and a comment are a huge support for us. Support our content. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. Ukraine. Absolutely.